Yo!
My name is Jared. His name is Ryan, and we are the Boat Parade. Thank you guys for liking, subscribing, as always. The hockey is
back. It's back.
It's
I had
all
to
the
cut
way
you off
back.
because I'm so excited. Hockey has returned after a 4-month hiatus.
Last night was the season opener for the Tampa Bay Lightning. They took on the New York Rangers at the most famous arena in the world, Madison Square Gardens.
Yeah.
As they said last night. Do you think that's true?
No.
What's the most famous arena in the world, real quick?
I don't know. Sydney Opera House?
That's not an arena.
The Roman Coliseum?
That's an arena. They don't
That's the
use it
most
anymore.
famous in the world, the Roman
There you
Coliseum.
go.
That's a fact.
But we're very excited for the hockey to be back. The Lightning
Dallas
season.
Cowboys Stadium.
is-
Sorry.
Are you all right, bro?
We're very excited that hockey season is back. We're doing this video as a little bit of a season preview, not just a recap of last night's game. However, this was kind of this was the first time they've seen each other since the Eastern Conference Final, where they got dominated last year after we were down 2-0. I got to be at the 2 home games, 3 and 4 in that series. They were some of my top sporting events ever. I was really excited for this game. So if you didn't watch the game,
Let's do the game real quick, and then we'll get into the season.
Yeah, so pretty
for
much
the game, my expectations were kind of low because the Lightning, even though historically they start off well, in recent years they kind of are off to a slow start. Yeah. But that being said, I feel like they played more intensely than I thought they were going to.
Yeah.
And then that produced more entertaining play to watch. And they played very well up until the third period. That obviously fell apart. They lost 3-1.
Yeah, I was going to say, we didn't have high expectations going into this. Tampa teams, they maybe start strong, but we seem to have to get rolling. The team kind of finds their groove. We had a couple new guys on the team. Obviously, Palaat's gone. McDonagh's gone. He was an assistant captain. So there's a little new dynamic they have to find. This Lightning team felt like a younger team, in my opinion, even though some of the guys are obviously a year older. Some of the new guys that are on the team, Koepke, for example, are younger guys, and they came out the gate in the first period at puck drop. They seemed hungry. They seemed quick. They seemed like they were going. Obviously, Hagel and Pointer are flying down the ice. They're two fastest dudes in hockey, and they're having a lot of fun out there. And so I was impressed at the pace of play. I was impressed at the hits. I mean, they came out first game of the season, bam! I mean, it was like watching almost a playoff game, to be honest.
There could have been a little bit more intensity because it's like, hey, this is the first hockey game of the season. We're on ESPN. We need to put on a show. But like you said, we're losing some of the more veteran guys, like a McDonagh, and then they're being replaced with younger guys like a Haydn Fleury, like how you mentioned Koepke, Philippe Myers that we got from Nashville.
Love that guy.
And they played very well, I think, for it being their first game with the Lightning, including Koepke. It was his first game in the NHL.
Yeah, I saw him. Did you see his post?
No.
He posted on Instagram. I saw it like 4 minutes after he posted. He was like, "It's such an honor to be out on the ice in my first NHL game. Thank you to the Tampa Bay Lightning for letting me be a part of this organization," whatever. I love that guy. You watch. He's going to be a grinder. It's that Nick Paul mentality. It's that dog mentality. It's that Nick Paul mentality. Nobody knows.
That's an inside joke.
Really, the problem for us, which we kind of expected this, but the passing was very sloppy.
It was a slop fest out there.
I'll tell you who was sloppy. No, we'll leave it. Cooch was
Kucherov
sloppy, man. He was sloppy. Bro.
I knew where you were going.
Hey, here's the puck.
Cooch had at least 12 turnovers.
They had one shot the whole game. That was it. And you know what? It's Cooch. Nobody cares. But he had a bunch of turnovers. Sergei had some turnovers. I mean, the guys are finding their groove. But the main points are Zibanejad's nasty. Whatever. He almost had a hat trick. He had a 110-foot shot off the post when there was an empty net. I thought he was going to get the hat trick. Very entertaining game to watch. Very quick, fast-paced game to watch for a home opener, or for a home opener for the Rangers, and for a season opener for us. This game gives me some excitement for a couple reasons. It gets me excited to watch these new guys like Haydn Fleury, these guys you talk about, Koepke.
I'm glad that Namestnikov is back.
Yeah. Namestnikov's like the uncle that always comes to every second family gathering. You know what I'm saying? Like, here he is again. Hey, Tampa Bay's like, hey. They all bring out their old jerseys. So I'm excited that he's back. Koepke's in there. I mean, I think some of these guys are going to get to develop as the season goes. I still think Hagel's going to develop a lot. Braden Point's going to get to play, which is exciting. Losing him in the playoffs was hard.
I'll say what's not exciting is that when the only goal that you can score is when you have a 5-on-3 advantage. That's not promising for the season, but it was a beautiful goal, and Stamkos banged it home on the one-timer like he always does over in his office.
And we had, 4 power plays that we didn't convert on
4 or
any
5.
of them, except the 5-on-3. It wasn't a great offensive game. It was actually a really good defensive game. Cernak was in there blocking stuff with his face like normal. Vasi got beat on that Zibanejad shorthanded goal. He bid on it and he got beat top shelf. But the other two,
it was a beautiful goal.
The other 2 goals, he was screened on that one timer by Zibanejad. Nothing you can do there. Cernak was trying to block it, but he was blocking Vasi. So when it came back top shelf left, he went to try to catch it and just didn't get there.
I think 2 of the goals happened purely because the Lightning's changes were awful.
Yeah, I mean that redirection was like.
I mean, that was beautiful. That wasn't off a change.
There's nothing you could do about that. It was nasty. It was like an 80-mile-an-hour redirect. I mean,
By Gaudreau, we miss you, buddy, but good luck up there.
Yeah.
What do you think the Lightning are going to do over the course of the season? Where do you think that they're going to end up at? How do you see things going as long as they can remain healthy?
Yeah, so, obviously, Cirelli and Bogosian are out. They had surgery. They won't be back here. Maybe a couple more weeks. Bogo may be back. I think Cirelli's got a month or 2. Before he comes back. If we can stay healthy, I think there's a good chance that we're going to be, I don't know, maybe 3rd or 4th in the league as far as our record, make the playoffs, and go for another run. I mean, this Lightning team is not very different than the teams that we won the Stanley Cup with.
No, and that's exactly what I'm thinking, is that they are experienced enough where they know that, hey, we don't have to go and win the championship trophy and be the best team in the league.
Florida Panthers.
We just need to make the playoffs and then kind of go from there.
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about this last time, but a lot of the times the President's Trophy winners.
Did I say champions?
Yeah, you did.
President's Trophy.
A lot of time the President's Trophy winners are like out in the first round. Like very, very rarely. I don't know if ever, but very rarely the President's Trophy, the team that wins the Stanley Cup. It's not about the regular season. And it's interesting because hockey is kind of like baseball more than football in the sense that there are some throwaway games. You have some games that you don't even play your starting goalie. You're on the road. You just don't care. You just kind of take a rest. The guys rest.
You have to rest the goalie. It's kind of like the catcher in baseball. You have to give him a break because they're playing the whole game.
Well, Florida last year, we lost 9-2. We played our backup goalie, and you just don't care. It's just one of those things.
I don't think that there's a throwaway game from the start, but I think that especially with the experience that Coach Coop has, that once you see the game going a certain way, now it's like, hey, let's work on a couple things that we may need in the playoffs. And now it's not much so about the outcome of the game, but hey, let's get better at a couple things that we can use going forward.
We'll call them learning games, not throwaway games. They're learning games. It's just an opportunity, especially for your second and third line, to kind of get some more time on the ice, which is totally fine. But the Lightning have, in my personal opinion, figured out kind of where the league is sitting right now. A lot of other teams had to make major changes with their cap space. The Lightning didn't.
Speaking of, the Maple Leafs have $6 of cap space.
And they still ain't making it to the second round of the playoffs.
That's funny.
It's funny because I hate the Maple Leafs. But there's a part of me that would love to just they lose in the second round. You know what I mean? There's they make the second round and then lose in the second round.
I want them to continue to be garbage.
What, 28 years?
Unless you have anything else for the season that you want to talk about. What I want to talk about is that there was some Lightning news that came out recently pertaining to one of the players. Ian Cole has been suspended by the team, the league, with pay to undergo the investigation of some allegations that were made of him on Twitter.
Yeah.
Of him doing some grooming with younger underage women and then allegedly doing some things with them. We will see how that turns out, obviously, how the investigation goes, but that's definitely some big Lightning news because he is a good hockey player on the ice and adds a lot to defense. Obviously, if he did that, terrible person. Let's hope not, and let's hope that the truth comes out. If so, that they handle that correctly. Yeah,
I mean, I love the way I love the way he plays hockey. I play with him. I mean, we play NHL, and I play with the Hurricanes, and I loved playing with him. I felt like he was actually not a replacement for McDonagh, but I feel like he can kind of slot in and play well.
He has experience in the defensive role.
He has experience. He's not the most loved guy in the world, to be honest with you, especially with some things that happened with a Bally reporter. But for me, there's a couple things that are maybe help me understand the situation a little more. Number one, they suspended him with pay, which is actually a good thing because it means that he's still innocent until he's proven guilty.
Right. It's not
which is good.
Right. It's not just, hey, you're guilty, you're fired.
Right.
It's, hey, obviously in America, you're innocent until proven guilty. There is the verdict of public opinion, obviously, that's out there.
I mean, media, it's like anybody can say anything. I mean, we'll leave that alone. If you know the hoodie, then you know the hoodie. But what really actually was a bummer for me is I wanted to see him play with this Lightning team. I was excited to see that in the opener. I was excited to see that at the beginning of the season. I'm hoping the suspension is not long-term. I'm hoping that they come to some conclusion. And, we are very slow.
The best scenario would be, hey, this was just allegations and not true.
Right, and then next week he's playing hockey.
If there's any truth to it, then do what you need to do with the legal process, and he's terrible.
Yeah. So we'll let you guys know if we do get any Big E and Cole news. We will make a video about it. There's nothing to talk about right now, though, other than let's hope this situation gets resolved. So we're super excited about the season. We will be at the home opener against the Philadelphia Flyers.
October 18th.
October 18th, so that's 6 days from today, whenever you watch this. It is a Tuesday. We're excited to be there. Jared, I'm looking forward so much to seeing if these guys stay healthy. I think it'll be a very, very good regular season, but the Lightning have proven themselves, in my personal opinion, to be the best hockey team in the last 40 years in the sport, in the league. They won back-to-back, which is something that's difficult to go to 3 in a row. Hasn't been done in the salary cap era by anybody else other than the Tampa Bay Lightning. I think this is going to be no different. I wouldn't be surprised if we see them in another Stanley Cup final coming this year.
In closing, my last question for you is this. There's 82 games in hockey, and obviously you can tie in hockey.
Yeah.
If you just had to throw out a number of what you think that their record is going to be, what do you think that would be?
Well, that would require math, but I'm definitely going to go we're going to be somewhere high 50s.
50 wins, high 50 wins?
High 50 wins to low 60 wins is going to be where I'm going to sit. I think
60 wins is a lot.
Injuries pending. I think if everyone stays healthy, I think we can hit low 60s. If some of the guys have some issues, particularly some key guys, right? If Hedman, who had played every single game last season, all 82 games, if he has any issues, that could affect. There's a lot of key players in there. And we're starting the season without Cirelli and Bogosian, who's a really important part of our defensive structure. So, I think mid to high 50s is a safe bet for the Lightning, which puts them really well seated going into the playoffs. And then obviously, Vasi didn't look perfect last night.
He made some incredible saves,
but he made some of those like widespread toe saves. It could have been 5-1 just like that.
They very easily could have been 5 or 6
goals. It wasn't Vasi's fault that we lost, but I think how he performs this season is obviously a determining factor for us, especially to see how he travels. And if he continues to get better as we've seen every season, I don't think 50 wins, even based on sealing them defensively, other teams. I think it's achievable.
Even the ESPN commentators, who are normally like very anti-Lightning, said that Vasi played well. It was just a couple of defensive errors, not playing well on offense, which contributed to the loss. So he's playing well. Even anti-Lightning ESPN is saying that.
Yeah, listen, it's easy to say that when someone loses to compliment the loser, but whatever, guys. ESPN's now in hockey, and so we're going to have to deal with these commentators and some of these people. But anyway, thank you guys so much. Lightning is back. Hockey's back. We're excited to see you at Amalie. We'll be there a lot during this season. And so come and say hello. Please like and subscribe. Share this video. We have a lot of content coming out, guys. Buck season is in full blown. Coming up on week 6. Tom Brady's lit. Somebody roughed him. Did they really? Anyway, and now, baseball's over, but hockey is in full swing. And so we're very excited for that. And thank you guys for subscribing. And we'll see you next time on the Boat Parade.
You can look me in the eye. It's all because of Jesus. He the reason I'm alive. I live by faith, by grace. You know that I ain't gotta strive. They told me, Tony.